I would like to point out to you the program which follows is unsuitable for people of nervous disposition. Yeah! Come on, that one. As a man went into a pub, see, he got a pint of beer, he drank the beer, put the glass on the counter, turned to the people on the right and said, "You're a bunch of idiots." And he turned to the people on the left and he said, "You're a bunch of fools," and walks out. Next night he's back, pint, puts the glass on the counter, turns to the right and says, "You're a bunch of idiots, and you're a bunch of fools," and he walks out. There was a man sitting there, and he said, "Look, if he comes in tomorrow night, he may not come in, I don't know." Well, you don't know, do you? Well, he may not. Well, you can't blame me, can you? I don't care. I don't want to say, I don't know the fella, I don't care if he comes in, it makes no difference to me. But he came in, got the beer, drank the beer, put the glass on the counter, turned the people around. He said, "You're a bunch of idiots, and you're a bunch of fools." And this man said, "Just a minute, I'm not a fool." He said, "Well, join the idiots over there then." Thank you. So I went to this doctor, and I said, "It hurts me when I do that." He said, "Well, don't do it." Yeah, I had a meal last night. I ordered everything in French to surprise everybody. It was a Chinese restaurant. And I said to this Chinese waiter, I said, "Look, this chicken I got here is cold." He said, "Well, sure, he's been dead 2 weeks." I said, "Not only that," I said it twice. I said, "He's got one leg shorter than the other." He said, "What do you want to do, eat it or dance with it?" I said, "Forget the chicken." It's making me giggle now. I said, "Forget the chicken." I said, give me a lobster." So he brought the lobster. I looked at it. I said, "Just a minute." I said, "Just a minute," I said. I said, "You only got one claw." He said, "He's been in a fight." I said, "Well, give me the winner." God, what a lovely audience. A sit ovation. And I said, "Oh, got something in my eye. It's my finger." So I said to this chap, "What happened then?" So I said to this Chinese waiter, I said, "Excuse me," and he said, "Yes." Look at that, impressions as well. I said, "Tell me something." I said, "Are there any Chinese Jews?" He said, "I don't know. Go find out." So he went and he came back. He said, "No. There's only apple juice, pineapple juice, and orange juice." So I said to this Chinese waiter behind the counter, see, I said, "Excuse me," and he said, "Yeah." Could have been the same one. Well, he could have walked round, couldn't he? I said, "Have you got frog's legs?" And he said, "Yes." I said, "Well, hot with the counter, get me a cheese sandwich." My boy said to me today, he said, "What do you call a gorilla that's got a banana in each ear?" And I said, "What do you call a gorilla that's got a banana in each ear?" He said, "Anything you like, you can't hear you." Last week I went to a travel agent to see about my holidays, and there was a big poster of Mallorca. So I want to go there, so he pinned me to the wall. And I I went by jumbo jet. The pilot was an elephant. And I always sit in the tail end of a plane, always. Because you never hear of a plane backing into a mountain. And when I got to the hotel in Mallorca, they gave me the red carpet treatment. They did. I thought it was very nice of them. And they said, the beds are not ready, so you've got to sleep on the red carpet. And I got to the room, and there was no ceiling to the room. So I rang out to the manager. I said, there's no ceiling to my room. He said, that's all right. He said, the man up baby doesn't walk about much. And when I got back, I'm leaking. And when I got back from the holiday, so I parked the car in the drive, took the luggage out the back seat, and helped my wife down from the roof rack. And there was 2,000 milk bottles on the doorstep. And I said to the milkman, I said, I've been away on a holiday. He said, thank goodness for that, he said. He said, I was beginning to think you didn't like the stuff. And there was water everywhere. Because my wife, she always leaves us taps running when, when we go away. Because she's got a theory that it drowns burglars. And the cellar was about 7 foot high of water, 7 foot. I was so surprised, I nearly fell off her shoulders. And it started to rise, the first floor, second floor, and third floor, which I couldn't understand. We live in a bungalow. Here's a little trick I'd like to show you now. From his empty top hat here like this, I shall produce a live rabbit. Just like that. Thank you. What? What do you mean, come off? It just come on. I was having a drink just before the show. And a man said to me, he said, do you always drink whiskey neat? I said, no, I don't. Sometimes I don't wear a tie and my shirt hang on. And now here's a magic wand, there's a white tip here and a white tip there. Now the reason for the white tips is to separate the ends from the center. I get worse. I've done that. Oh dear. I backed the horses, 20 to 1. Come in 20 past 4. And the jockey get hit me with a whip like that. Not like that, like that. And the horse said, what are you doing that for? There's nobody behind us. You know, I put a greyhound about a month ago. A greyhound. A friend of mine said, what are you going to do with it? I was going to race it. He said, by the look of it, I think you beat it. Oh. I always say a friend in need is a pest. Get rid of him. And if at first you don't succeed, forget it. Here's a little trick I'd like to show you now. It's a very famous eggy bag trick. You know, this trick starts very slowly, and it gradually peters out. Oh dear, oh dear. Very famous egg and bag trick. Do you know? Look, I'm leaking. I was walking along the street the other day. They all say that, don't they? I was walking along the street the other day. It's different. And there was a little fence there, so I said to myself, I'll look over there. I did have to, you know, but I just thought to myself, I will. So I looked over it like that. And there was a little chicken there. A little roll on in red. And he didn't notice me for a minute. And then he must have sensed I was there. Because he turned around and he looked at me like that. And I looked at him, and he was looking at me like that, and I looked at him, and then he went, oh, duck, duck, duck. So I went, oh, duck, duck, duck. And he went, oh, duck, duck. And the policeman came along and arrested us for using foul language. Put the sound on it. Too quiet. Now, here's a little trick I'd like to show you now. It's a very famous... Watch it very, very close. And when I finish this trick, I don't want any applause at all. I want everybody to stand up and sing, for he's a jolly good fellow. You know, I'll give anything to sit out there and watch this. Thank you. Thank you very much. Thank you. I feel so nervous, I may do a trick right. Do you want a good laugh? Here's a good... Do this tomorrow. Go into your antique shop and say, what's new? Just like that. There's a lady had a dog, it's a great joke. A lady had a dog, see the dog's like that. Funny dog, isn't it? Like that. And she got a biscuit above his head, like that, see? Dog like that, got a biscuit. She said, speak, boy, speak. He said, what shall I say? You know, I know a friend of mine, he's got a dog. Whoa, he lives on his own, just him and his dog. Yes, that's true, just him and his dog. And he said, it's marvelous. He's a wonderful companion. You know, he does everything for me, gets my slippers, my pipe. He said, completely faithful. I said, well, that's all right. I said, but haven't you ever thought about getting married? He said, yes. He said, I don't think the dog is serious. I mean, you've got to get married sometime or other, haven't you? I mean, you can't go through life enjoying yourself all the time. I'm married. I got home the other weekend, my wife was crying her eyes out. I said, what are you crying for? She said, I'm homesick. I said, this is your home. She said, I know, I'm sick of it. I've got a dog, a new dog, an Alsatian. I have, not a lovely dog. He's a one-man dog, only bites me. He took a big lump on my knee once, and a friend of mine said, did you put anything on it? I said, no, he liked it as it was. My next door neighbour said to me, you've got to watch that dog. I said, why? He said, he keeps chasing the postman on a bicycle. I don't want to take his bike away. Anyway, it was my wife's idea to get this dog. See, not any dog. I had to go down to the country to one of those posh kennels, you know. And as I waited there, walked in, I was greeted by, you know, the long pointed nose, the floppy ears, and the wet nose. And that was the owner. And they go into everything, you know. They go into everything now, all about the grandparents, great-grandparents. Not the dogs, yours. And then I saw him, as I say, I saw him there. And I said, has he got a pedigree? And he said, only the best, sir. He said, his pedigree is so good, if he could speak, he wouldn't talk to the likes of you. I said, a family tree? He said, anyone would do. Do you know, I know a friend of mine, well, not a friend of mine, really, but he had this dog. and he wouldn't give him any water or food. But a dog's not like a cat, is it? It's faithful, isn't it? You know what I mean? What am I talking about? So, and this dog always came there, faithful, wagging his tail like that, coming towards his master. And he gave him nothing to eat. He still wagged his tail. And this man went away for about 6 months. Left him no water and nothing to eat. And when he came back, there was his dog still wagging his tail like that. And he came towards his master and he jumped on him and he ripped him to pieces. Okay. Thank you very much. What's that? It's a very famous trick down the bottle of glass trick. Oop, sorry, too many bottles. Too many bottles. Oh, think of my mother. Thank you very much. Dude, I was thinking that, you know, sometimes there's great performers like Al Jolson. Remember Al Jolson? He used to sing, "Man, make it sunshine, sunshine." I mean, he didn't have a microphone, no microphones. None at all. And he used to get on one knee and sing. Man. Oh, I love it. Oh, I love it. Oh, man. There's such a east sideways. And people run from the back to shout and say things like, "Al, we can't hear you." Now, before I begin my act proper, I'd like to say this. This. I always wanted to say that. I always wanted to say it. How many times you can come on the stage and say this and get a laugh? This is a funny word, that, isn't it? That. That's funnier than this. Now, as a matter of fact, I just got back from Las Vegas. And I took the wife along, because I heard you get rid of anything there. Now, I'm only joking. I've got the best wife in England. The other one's in Africa. And the week before we left, she got this fashion book, you see, and she said, she opened the page, she said, "I want that." I said, "What?" She said, "I want that fur coat." I said, "All right," so I cut it out and I gave it to her. I went into a drugstore, which is a chemist here, isn't it? In a drugstore, and I said to the man behind, I said, "Have you got anything for a headache?" He said, "Yes." So he gave me this, and I went to pay him. He said, "I'll toss you double or nothing." So I lost. I walked up with 2 headaches. Oh, I hate flies, don't you? I hate flies. As a matter of fact, I've got here a fly paper. It's called the Daily Fly. And this kills flies stone dead. I put it on the table like that, you see, just there. And a fly comes along, and naturally he starts to read it. And while he's reading it, I creep up behind him. Now, I'm only joking. I wouldn't harm a fly, I mean that. I wouldn't harm a fly. And I never use a fly killer. I use this, instant starch. It doesn't kill them, but they glide out the window like that. She flies like a bird in the sky high, high. Do you know, every place that I've been to, like different cities, different towns, I always like to collect a souvenir from the places I've been to. We all do that, don't we? All right. Oh, my teeth itch. I went to the dentist. Is my teeth all right? My gum's going to come out. And I'm sitting inside waiting to see him, like you do. And I'm reading the magazines. It wasn't awful about that Titanic. Oh, dear. I was in Margate last summer for the summer season. A friend of mine said, "You want to go to Margate? It's good for rheumatism." So I did, and I got it. And while I was there, I tried to get in a hotel, but it was packed. So I went to this big boarding house, and I knocked on the door, and the landlady put her head up the window and said, "What do you want?" I said, "I want to stay here." She said, "Well, stay there, shut the window." And while I was there, I bought one of these frogman outfits. You see them up here? I bought the whole lot, big flippers, big tank on the back, goggles. I bought the whole lot, and I had a photograph taken. Like that. We never know, do you? And I went to the bay, and I jumped in, because you're not supposed to dive in. It's very dangerous. No, it is. So I jumped in, and I went down like that. I may have turned a little bit. No, I didn't, no. I thought I did, but I didn't. And I went down to about 155 feet. And it was very quiet. And I'm going along like that. I got the instructions here. See? And I get rid of them, and I start to do that. I'm showing off a bit. And the feet are going like that. No, not in the front, in the back, you know what I mean? And I'm going along like that. See? I wonder where Tom is. And I'm going along like that. And all of a sudden, I look ahead, and I see a man walking towards me. In a sports jacket and grey flannels. I thought, that's unusual for a Thursday. So I go towards him, and I don't care now. I really go towards him like that. And I take this pad out, and I write on it, "What are you doing down here? Walking about in a sports jacket and grey flannels." And he takes his pad from me, and he writes on there, "I'm drowning." Now, these rings will drop apart in front of your very eyes. Just like that. Not like that, like that. People do pick on you, don't they? All the time. And my wife picks on me. I mean, she said to me, "You never take me out." So I said, "All right, get ready." So she goes upstairs about 5, and about 10 o'clock I get worried. I hadn't heard from her. So I go upstairs in the bedroom, and she's walking about with nothing on but a pair of football boots. And she said, "I got nothing to wear." And I said, "All right." So I went in the next night, I said, and she takes hours to get ready. Hours. Oh, dear, oh, dear. And I said, I've got 2 tickets to see The King and I. She said, I won't be ready. I said, it's all right, it's tomorrow night. It's like a fellow, everybody picks on people. A fellow went into a pub, a little fellow, about 5 foot, like about James Cagney. Okay. That was good, wasn't it? I do a lot of impressions, a lot of them. I'll do this. Here's a quick one before I do that. Listen to this. You're the first to hear this. Very first. Hello, Tommy, how are you? What do you think? Now, be honest, what do you think? What? Great. Thank you. You don't know who it is, do you? He's my milkman. I'll give you another one, another quick one. You heard of that wonderful film star, Gregory Peck? No, Gregory Peck. I've had my nose fixed and my teeth don't work. Gregory Peck. I'd like to give my impression now of Gregory Peck's father. Hello, son. Do you know, my feet are killing me. You know, every night when I'm lying in bed, they get me around the throat like that. And they try to strangle me. You can see the toe marks there, if you look. And I'm lying in bed one night, and I was just like that, lying like that, like you do. And I thought to myself, I don't like this. You do, don't you? So I thought, I'd go over the other side. So I went over like that. And I like that, and I thought to myself, I think the other side's better. So I went back again. And my wife had just rolled up her hair and put it under the bed. And then she said to me, the front door's bolted. I said, well, it can't get far, can it? I'll get it in the morning. Here's another joke. Two Chinamen, see? And they're talking, you're like this. You're like this. 2 Chinamen talking to each other. One says, Ik bang gan dong. To hong wing tang tong tong. Tang tang, to speak bang bong tang. Oh, this is funny, then. Anyway. And the other one said, Tong tong wang, bing tong fong, bong tang tang. I thought you'd like it, I do. Oh! And now I have to show you now for me the very famous vanishing flight. Just like that. Thank you very much. Oh, thank you. Thank you very much. You know, it's been often said that every comedian wants to play Hamlet. Now, that's a funny thing to say, isn't it? I don't know why, because it never gets a laugh. But it is true that every comedian wants to play Hamlet, but yet not one comedian has ever played Hamlet. And I often wonder what it would be like if one ever did. To be or not to be, that is the question. Whether 'tis nobler in the mind to suffer the slings and arrows of outrageous fortunes. I had a bit of bad luck yesterday. I was pinned for parking. And I said to the officer, I said, well, I'm in a cul-de-sac. He said, I don't care what kind of car it is, you can't park here. Or to take arms against a sea of troubles. I always travel by sea. I never fly. Well, I did once. I flew to America. And there was a film on board, and I already seen it. I walked out halfway through. And by opposing end them. To die, to sleep. Perchance to dream. I had a funny dream last night. I dreamt I was eating a 10-pound marshmallow. And I woke up this morning, the pillow was gone. To sleep. And in that sleep, what lilting poetry trips nimbly from the tongue. Here's a poem. A little poem entitled, I Can't Get Over a Girl Like You, so get up and make this tea yourself. Thank you. Thank you. Thank you. Thank you. Thank you. Thank you. There once was a Scotsman named Andy. He went into a pub for a shandy. He blew off the froth, using his kilt as a cloth. And the barman said, blimey, that's Andy. But soft you now, the fair Ophelia. And there's a girl for you. Pretty as a picture. And not a bad frame either. I mean, she's not like the wife. I'm not saying the wife is ugly. I'm not saying that. When I was walking on the street the other day with her, a policeman said to me, excuse me, sir, have you reported that accident? Thank you very much, ladies and gentlemen. You're a wonderful order. Here's a quick trick, look.
Zo zijn we. Toch ga je vrienden.
Thank you very much. Thank you. Thank you. Thank you very much. Chief Barker, fellow Barkers, distinguished guests, ladies and gentlemen. From now on, this speech goes downhill a bit. What?
You've got to put your face on.
Not yet, not yet. I told you to wait in the truck, didn't I? Your own wife echoes it. That's good, isn't it? Anyway, I must say, when I heard of this honour, I told the family, and I told my son and daughter. I've got a son and daughter. I get things right sometimes. And I said to my son Thomas, I said, I've been invited as a guest of honour to lunch by the Riding Club. And he looked at me with tears in his eyes. And he flung his arms around me. And he said, what the hell for? As a matter of fact, I got over a sick bed to get here today. I feel a little bit better now, but the bed's not well. Does my voice sound a little bit hoarse? It does a bit, doesn't it? As a matter of fact, I lost my voice completely yesterday, and the one I got now, I just borrowed for this lunch. So I went to the doctor's, and he said, right, I'll examine you. He said, open your mouth. I went like that. And he looked down, and he said, a little raw. So I went, oh. Not loud, just ah. He said, I'll tell you what I'm going to do. I said, what's that? He said, I'm going to test your ears. It's because sometimes when you lose your throat, voice, it affects your hearing. I said, right. He said, I'm going to go down there. You go down there. I'm going to whisper something to you. And if you hear me, I want you to repeat it. I said, right. So he went down there, and I went down there. And he said, how now, brown cow? And I said, how now, brown cow? And he said, pardon? Someone said once, or maybe they said it twice. I don't know, because I wasn't there. But someone said once, or twice, horsepower was a wonderful thing when only horses had it. Well, someone said to me I had to make a quotation in the speech, and that's it. It's not too bad, is it? I like to be serious for a moment. That's enough. A man goes into a restaurant. Now, there's a little joke. Now, I won't be offended if we don't laugh. A man goes into a restaurant. He said, I want a piece of cheesecake and a cup of coffee. And he said, we got no cheesecake. He said, oh, right. I'll have a piece of cheesecake and a glass of milk. He said, we got no cheesecake. He said, oh, right. He said, I'll have a piece of cheesecake and a glass of lemonade. He said, look, you're getting on my nerves. I just told you we got no cheesecake. I'll smash you right in the nose in a minute. He said, oh, right, okay. He said, I'll have a piece of cheesecake and a glass of Coca-Cola. So he said, I warned you, didn't I? He said, take that. And he went, ooh. He said, I did tell her. He said, yeah, all right. He said, well, okay. He said, well, I just have a small slice of cheesecake. That's all.